In this video, I'm keeping it all the way real about the good, the bad, and the ugly of building a home in San Antonio, Texas, and we're getting into it right now. What's going on, family? This is Greg Foster with Market Boss at eXp Realty right here in San Antonio, Texas. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, working, eating, chilling, and playing in San Antonio, Texas, then click the subscribe button and tap that little bell so you're notified every time we drop a new video. And my team and I, we're getting calls every single day from folks just like you looking into the San Antonio area. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating anywhere in San Antonio, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We've got your back when moving to San Antonio, Texas. We found that when most people are moving in San Antonio, they usually fall into one or two camps. They're either cool with an existing home in an established area, or they're just all about new construction. And if you're in the new construction camp, I'm giving you 3 pros and 3 cons that you really need to think about before you build a home in San Antonio. So let's get into it. Pro number 1 is location. Now, as I'm sure you already know, when it comes to real estate, it's always about location, 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 which basically makes it like the first, second, and third most important thing to think about. And when it comes to building a home in San Antonio, it's really tough to find a brand new community that's going to be in a bad location. If you're checking out the map, you'll see that most of the new home communities in San Antonio are going to be outside Loop 1604 in the suburbs on the outskirts of the city. Our suburbs in the far west, the northwest, the far north, and the northeast are some of the most desired locations that you're going to find anywhere in San Antonio. And it's where a lot of people focus their search when they're looking for a more laid-back suburban kind of lifestyle. If you've got school-age kids, they're going to be enrolled in some of the very best elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and in some of the top-rated school districts that you're going to find anywhere in the Alamo City. And it's where they're going to have access to the best teachers and some of the best coaches that you're going to find anywhere in the state of Texas. You've got access to some of the very best shopping and restaurants and grocery stores and entertainment. And when it comes to things to do on the evenings and on the weekends, many of San Antonio's newest communities are super close to parks and movie theaters and golf courses. Our theme parks like Six Flags and SeaWorlds, and even hill country resorts and spas for staycations. And we've even got a couple of lakes out here in the area if you want to do some boating or just spend some time on the water out on the weekends. And trust me, I could just keep going on and on as far as things to do. And that's just what's going to be right in your own backyard here in the suburbs, because many of these neighborhoods are building close to some of the major highway systems here in the area. You've also got quick access to downtown San Antonio, the Riverwalk, and pretty much anything that you're wanting to do in San Antonio, you can get there within about a 25-30 minute drive. So if you're wanting the best of both worlds and you want to live in the suburbs in a great community in a safe area with some newer homes, but you also want quick access to lots of fun stuff to do, you really can't go wrong building a home in San Antonio. Con number 1 is that everything is new. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive to this video, but there are some definite trade-offs to living in a newly developed area. If you're into a more established area with mature landscaping, homes with character, and if you're looking for a little more flair in your architecture, then San Antonio has so many amazing neighborhoods for you to choose from. But you probably won't find that in these newer communities. When my team conducts their initial homebuyer consultation, they always make it a point to ask questions like, what's important to you about the next community you live in? What are you looking for in a neighborhood? What are you hoping to stay away from? And when we get answers like, I really don't want something that's like cookie cutter, or I'd like a little more space between my neighbors, or how about I really like to spend some time outside and some shade would really be nice. We know right off the bat that new construction probably isn't for you. I mean, it'd be really nice if in these brand new subdivisions they could build the homes in between the trees, but they don't. Growing up in Kansas, I had this massive shade tree in my front yard that I used to climb all the time, and I might have fell out of that thing once or twice. And that's just one of the things that you don't see a lot of in these brand new communities. The first thing they end up doing is cutting all the trees down before they put all the houses in. It ends up looking like the surface of the moon out here, and then you end up getting one of these little baby trees in your landscaping package. So there's really not a lot of shade to be found out here unless you got like a covered patio on the back of your house. And I really feel sometimes for people whose back patios face south, you can't really spend no time out there, especially in these Texas summers, without frying like a piece of bacon. And speaking of Texas heat, make sure you water them baby trees, because last summer apparently I didn't water mine enough and it ended up dying on me. We had a funeral for that thing and everything. Don't judge me. Pro number 2 is that there are just so many options. I'm shooting this video in the fall of 2020, and recent reports are showing that 66 people a day are making the move to San Antonio. And to keep up with all that demand, we have literally dozens and dozens of some of the top builders in the nation building out some of the most amazing communities that you're going to find anywhere in Texas, right here in the Alamo City. We've got entry-level builders for first-time home buyers, mid-range builders for move-ups, and even high-end builders for semi-custom and full-on custom construction construction for a brand new home right here in San Antonio. And when it comes to finding the right new home community, San Antonio leaves absolutely nothing to be desired. You'll find everything from your typical suburban communities with lots of amenities to hill country subdivisions with homes perched on top of hills with views for miles, and even brand new urban living with funky, cool architecture with downtown San Antonio and the Riverwalk right in your backyard. And let's not forget all the land that we've got out here in Texas. There's several acreage communities with lots and home sites for you to build your perfect dream home with the backdrop of the Texas sky and the Texas hill country for you to really enjoy what you're getting into. We're at the forefront of all the latest design trends and building standards, the very best in materials, craftsmanship, and energy efficiencies. And when it comes to customizing your new home, we've got you covered with design centers spread all across the city with nearly limitless options for you to add your own style and character to where you live. And it's all those options in particular that a lot of new home construction clients have told us that they really enjoyed and appreciated. They wanted to go the new home route so they could get exactly what they wanted, so that they could live in a home that really reflected their personality and their lifestyle. They wanted to choose their own home site, choose their own home design, and in a lot of cases even comes down to choosing your own doorknobs. So no matter what you're into, just rest assured that San Antonio has a lot of new home options to give you greater control over where you live and how you live. Con number 2 is construction. Now, I'm the type of guy that really enjoys my peace and quiet. Just ask my kids. When my family and I moved to San Antonio in the summer of 2014, we found this amazing home in a new subdivision that backed right up to a green belt. It was literally on the far extreme edge of San Antonio. Wasn't nothing back there. Until about 3 months later when they cut a brand new section in right behind me. And for the next 6 months, we had all this noise from like earth movers and dump trucks like cutting things up and tearing out trees right behind us, even early in the morning on a Saturday. There's this saying about living in a construction zone here in San Antonio. It'll be beautiful when it's finished. Now, hopefully you're luckier than I am, because I knew at least once a year driving through new home subdivisions when I'd show houses, I'd end up catching and nailing at least one of my tires. Matter of fact, about 6 months ago, I stopped off at one of our clients' homes that was under construction just because I happened to be on that side of town, and guess what I found on the side of my car when I was stepping out? Can y'all see this thing? I mean, this has some serious weight to it. I remember when I brought this thing home to show my kids, and my wife looked at this thing and she was like, "What are you gonna do with that?" And I was like,
"Whatever I feel like I want to do." Gosh!
Now, it's not at all uncommon to be hearing loud music and gas-powered generators while contractors are in there working on these houses. And don't get me started on these big piles of debris and dirt sitting around in some of these subdivisions. I don't even take time washing my car no more before driving through one of these brand new home subdivisions, because I know I'm just going to come out the other side looking all ashy. Pro number 3 is affordability. One of the things that I really like about San Antonio is that in most of the zip codes around here, you're going to find a really wide range of pricing on homes. And the new home construction scene is a really good representation of that too. Whether you're just starting out and you're buying your very first home and you're looking for something that you can live in and own and finally call yours, or maybe you're moving up into something larger, and even if you're at a point in life where you're going to be scaling down and looking for something a little bit smaller and more manageable, the new home scene in San Antonio is going to have you covered on every front. Most of the master plan communities here, they've also got their own amenities with parks and walking trails and sport courts, gyms. A lot of them have pools for you to be able to spend time outside with the family. And the HOAs also do a really good job of community activities like food trucks, outside workouts, family movie night in the park, and just a lot of other activities to get the neighbors engaged, to spend time outside and get a chance to know each other. And when our team members talk to people from the West Coast or the East Coast or other more expensive markets, they just really can't believe themselves when they see how affordable it is to build a brand new home here in San Antonio. And I'm not just talking about one part of the city either. There's still dozens and dozens of communities that are actively building right now all across San Antonio with home prices that start even down to the low 200,000s. The incentives that the builders offer are beyond amazing, and they usually run different specials in the different parts of the year depending on what their inventory looks like. We've seen them do everything from offering home automation packages to buying down your interest rate, providing thousands of dollars in closing costs, and in some cases even giving tens of thousands of dollars worth of credits towards additional upgrades to customize your home. I mean, these builders out here are literally throwing money at people to come out here and build a brand new home in a brand new community in San Antonio. Just last week, our team had 2 different clients that we took over to Valley Ranch. They were looking at floor plans and actually used their VA benefit to get a super low interest rate. Now, I know you're wondering, right? How low, Greg? This low. Okay, but seriously though, their interest rate were in the low twos. I mean, seriously, the low twos. If you think about it, it's almost like the banks were giving out free money. Okay, hold up. It's not exactly free money. I could probably get in trouble for saying that. Con number 3 is builder competition. Now, all of the things that make building a new home exciting are the exact same things that are going to turn the builder into your main competition if you're ever trying to sell your home while the community is still actively building. The affordability, the incentives, and the ability to get exactly what you want on a new home make it really tough to compete with builders for buyers that are looking in your neighborhood. And when the agents on our team talk with our clients about buying a home in a brand new community, one of the first questions that we always like to ask is, how long are you planning to live in this home before you're looking at selling it in the future? We always ask that because we've had a lot of people tell us like, no, this is our forever home. When we leave this house, we're going out feet first, only to call us up 2 or 3 years later looking to sell. And while we'll always tell people that our crystal ball only sees about 6 months into the future at best, there's definitely some questions that you can ask a new home sales rep that'll help you understand the position that you'll be in if you look at get selling in the next 3 to 5 years. Things like, what's the master plan for this community? How many other builders are also building in here? How many homes will this community have in it when it's built out? Over how many phases? What's your anticipated schedule for price increases? Now, I know this isn't really the exciting stuff like picking out your upgrades and your color packages, but the answers to these questions are really going to help us to determine whether or not you're going to lose money if you're going to have to sell your house in a couple of years, or if you're going to be in the sweet spot when it comes time to decide the list price later down the road, which, by the way, and this is really important, is 10% below what somebody else could go out and build that exact same house for. It's always going to cost more to build it new than it is going to be to buy it existing, and that's the main reason for all these incentives from the builders. Any less than a 10% spread between your existing home and a brand new home, and most of the time, buyers are going to go the new home route. They're going to pay a little bit more. They're going to get those incentives, pick everything they want, and get the brand new home purchase. Now, I know this is like way down the road and maybe even years into the future, but as your real estate team, it's something that we like to take into consideration because when you sleep well at night, we sleep well at night. Now, if you're wanting more information about building a home in San Antonio or any of the new home communities that you're going to find here in the city, our team's getting calls every single day from folks looking into the San Antonio area. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating anywhere in the Alamo City, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when moving to San Antonio, Texas.